Good day. Welcome to Rational Mathematics tutorial class. Today, we'll be discussing the basic concepts, the basic rules of differentiation. So, let's start. What is differentiation? Differentiation is the rate of change of one quantity over the other. For instance, let's say the rate of change of the speed. Let's take it for instance, the speed with time. So the rate at which the speed of a moving object, for instance, let's say a car or an aeroplane or any moving object, the rate of change of a body with time. So that brings about differentiation. So we also, in our everyday life, we also have common concepts like the rate at which people are eating a particular food will determine the price that it will come out with, or the rate at which a particular product is being produced at the factory or by a company will determine its price. If the production is high, the price will come down, and the production is low, the price will go up. So we have but before we can understand the concept of differentiation properly, we need to understand the function. I know that majority of you would have taken function. You know function. You know what function is. Then indices and algebra. So you need to be, you would have been familiar with all these three. You know how to solve polynomial, quadratic. So everything, they are all interwoven together. So that is that. So let's now start. I've defined differentiation for you. The next thing that we'll be talking about is the law of differentiation. So the number one law that we are going to differentiate is the constant law. The constant law. So assuming you know that in differentiation we normally talk about the notation that we used to use is we talk about the y, we talk about the x, and at times you can see f of x. So now the rate of change of y with respect to x will bring about differentiation. So in the constant law of differentiation, if you have, for instance, assuming our y is equals to 5, it means that the y over the x is going to be equals to 0. So if you are asked in an exam find the derivatives of y equals 10. So the only answer that you can produce is 5. The derivatives of any number is 0. The derivatives of any number, which is differentiation of any number, is, and that is what the constant law is saying. The constant law say the y over the x of a constant is equals to 0. The y over the x of c is 0. Of any number whatsoever, how big or small it is equals to 0. So the second law is the law of the power rule. So the power rule. So for the power rule, it says that when y equals x raised to power n. So now if you are now asked to differentiate, assuming you are asked to differentiate y, you have to differentiate that. When we say differentiate, they normally say you find the derivatives or you differentiate y with respect to x. So under the power rule, if you want to differentiate, when x has no coefficient but is carrying power n, so what you have to do is you transfer the power to this side and you take 1 from this side. So it means that y is going to be equals to nx. So the power n, take 1 from it, n minus 1. So it means that it's no more y, it is now the y over the x. So it has changed, it's no more y. So by transferring the power to the side and taking 1 away from the power, so for example, let me give you example of the y of instances where we can get it. For instance, assuming we have x raised to power 8, that is y, that is when y is equals to x raised, and we have to find the derivatives of x raised to power 8. So what will be our answer? Just it's simple. You say the y over the x is equals to, transfer this 8x, 8, take 1 from that 8, and it's as simple as that. If you take 1 from 8, it's going to give you 7. So your answer is 8x raised to power 7. So we also have so many numerous examples, thousands of examples that I can provide for that one. So another example is x raised to power 5. When y, you can just copy it and do it on your own. Let me list it on the board before we go to another concept. So another when y is equals to x raised to power 5, when y is equals to x raised to power 9, when y is equals to x raised to power 3. So if you have to find the derivatives, I believe that by just closing your eyes and open it, you should be able to produce an answer using the power rule. So the third rule that we are going to take into to discuss is the constant multiple rule. So constant multiple rule, constant multiple rule. What does the constant multiple rule say? It says that assuming our y is equals to this and we have ax raised to power n, that's what we are given to be our y. This is our y. So how will you differentiate? How will you find the derivatives? So you can only find the derivatives by doing what? Don't let the coefficient of x, don't let it scare you. You take the power, you multiply it by n. Having multiplied by n, don't forget that power, reduce it by 1. So it means that it's going to be a multiplied by n x raised to power n minus 1. Do you understand it? You multiply this. So for instance, look at the way I'm going to do this one. We have, assuming I'm given y to be equals to 5x raised to power 7. So you are asked to find the derivatives of y. So dy over dx will now equals to, I will multiply this 7 by 5. It's going to give me 35, and I will reduce the power by 1. So 7 minus 1. So it's going to be equals to 35x raised to power 6. And that is this. Now let me list another, let me give you some exercise. I will give you exercise. You can just copy it down. At the end of the lesson, you can try it and see that is as simple as that. Y equals 4x raised to power 7. Y equals 12x raised to power 6. And y equals x raised to power 11. So you can lay your hands on it and try it and see whether it's going to work or not. It's as simple as that. You make sure that you transfer the power to the side, multiply with the coefficient, and reduce the power by 1. That is just it. So we have another one. We have the advanced one. In a case where you now have an algebraic expression that you are asked to find the derivatives, Assuming you are given an expression that you are asked to solve for the derivatives of this expression. For instance, assuming you are given that y is equals to 5x squared plus 3x, how will you find the derivatives? It's as simple. What you have to do is that you just write the y over the x. So it will not be like the original form again, and it's immediately you write the x, because it means that you've already started the processing. What do? You take them one by one. This is 5x squared. You transfer the 2 and multiply it by 5. You have 10, and reduce the power by 1. So you have 10x 2 minus 1 plus, this is the power here. The power of this one is 1. Multiply the power by 1. You have 3. That x, you know, is 1. You remove 1 from it. So here we have 10x plus, and here we have 3x raised to power 0. And any letter that has the power of 0 means that that letter is equals to 1. So it means that 10x plus 3 times 1. So we have 10x plus 3. So that's the derivatives of 5x squared plus 3x. As simple as that. Let me give you another one. We have assuming we are given that our y is equals to 4x 7. Assuming our y is equals to 7x raised to power 6 plus 5x raised to power 3 plus 18. So that's, we are given that this is our y, and you are asked to find the derivatives. So what are you going to do? You deal with them one after the other. You apply that law. So what, you multiply this one by the power, which is 6 by 7. You have 42, and you reduce the power by 1. So x raised to power 6 minus 1, 5, plus this one, multiply this by this, you have 15, and reduce the power by 1. So you have x squared, and you know that this is a constant. The derivatives of any constant is what? Is 0. So that's why you have the answer to be 42x raised to power 5 plus 15x squared. So, and that is that. So let me give you one or two exercises to lay your hands on and see that there is nothing in it. There's nothing to write on to be worried about. So when you are given y, assuming you are given y to be equals to 15x raised to power 4. So you are given y equals 15x raised to power 4 minus 8x squared plus x minus 10. Assuming you are given y to be equals to 6x raised to power 5 plus 3x raised to power 4 plus 2x squared plus 1. So assuming you are asked to find the derivatives, I believe by the time you close your eyes and open it, you should be able to produce an answer. Have a nice day. Bye. Thank you. God bless. Bye.